Good afternoon, family and friends. Sergeant OCD here. Yesterday I was at Lowe's and I was buying axe handles, and the guy that was working the section where the axes are and stuff, he was like, "Hey, do you need some help?" And I'm like, "No, I'm trying to find the double ones because they were $13 as opposed to $19 for one that's not a double blade or a single head." Uh, and he was like, "Well, and he tried to put one back, and I was like, "No, I need that one too." And he goes, "You broke two axe handles?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, "Then what do you need two?" Um, I said that I was making weapons with them. He's like, "Really? What kind of weapons are you making?" And I was explaining to him, talked to him for like 20 minutes. And so I made this one out of an axe handle I found at a building we moved into, one of my startups. And I had this skin diving knife, which I don't dive, but I bought it when I was like 18 at the beach, Ocean City. And it had holes in it, so I was thinking that, excuse me, it's really cold in the shop today. I just started a fire. Anyway, I could put some bolts in there and bolt a knife on there. It's a little loose, but the whole idea of this back in the day was, I could hit with the knife, I could hit with the bolts, or I could stab. Okay, so it's a two-hand operation, right? And right now it's perfect for my wife to defend herself because she can't do anything with one arm. So anyway, I have this in one area, and then I have, blades like this in different areas. So this is another one of those throwing hatchets, like this one from Ozark Trail, that really doesn't work that well as a throwing hatchet. But if I attach it onto wood, it will work very well. So the other thing about these Ozark Trail things, these knives, they're stainless steel, yeah, and they'll sharpen, but you can't get a real good edge on them, not like you can with carbon steel. So they're good to make weapons out of. So if I'm here and my perp is 3 feet away, obviously, if I take half this axe handle, I'll be able to at least wound them. And that's all I want to do. I don't want to kill anybody, especially in Maryland. That's why, you have weapons like this to just scare people, because safety, it's a BB gun, right? But it was before the time that they had to mark them all with orange. Now this weapon here, this is a 50 caliber pepper ball gun. So I'm pretty sure if I hit somebody with a pepper ball, they'll go away. It will shoot other rubber balls, which I have on order. Now, this toolbox, I never really explained it, but I have my strop in here, and you're probably going to figure out what this is. The reason I keep things in this is to either show or sharpen. So here's some pepper spray that you should probably keep with you, because that's what this video is all about. It's all about defending yourself with non-lethal. Selfie stick really doesn't work in there. I did already sharpen this up. This is one of the axes I carry with me because it's small, it's light. I carry it in my LBE. That's the reason it was coming back out here, because I already sharpened it. So I have this other sharpening kit, but my baby. So now, buck knives, yeah, they're great to have for self-defense if you're close proximity. Now, You see how I turned it around? I'm right-handed. If I'm punching and I have it like this, I don't want to stab myself in the face. That's why I carry a knife like that. Well, that's why I fight with a knife like that. And ideally, if I have a short one of these with a blade on it, I could also defend my arm. So that's why I do that along with this guy. I could put my pinky through here, but I can also put my finger through here, or not, and I could still punch. And if I have to slice, I can slice. So that's my theory. That's the way I learned how to fight. But anyway, pride and joy is this stone here. It's a wheat stone, and I just bought this little container for it, just so I can keep it all nice and neat, because, well, I got talked to about using my my wife's good dishes yesterday. So anyway, I use what I want. So anyway, that's about all I have in here. Other than, for some reason, I have some matches in here. Probably to come out here. So this is what I use to sharpen. This I'll throw it in here, and then I'll sharpen. I'll carry this back and forth. I'll just sit there and watch TV, and after I sharpen them, and I'm going to go ahead and, when this is done, I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this one, because I want to show you how I sharpen, how I've learned to sharpen, because I was never good at sharpening knives. Now, my boot knife and my belt knife here, it's very, very sharp. It's so sharp that I cut myself with it, which is what I used to do. But I don't want to stab myself. This little knife here, it had something like this on it where you could move it around. So I just switched it from left hand to right hand, and I hooked it on my belt. So anyway, without further ado, what I want to do with this is take this stuff off. Now, I did sharpen these at one time. They're fairly sharp. I'll keep those for later. So I'm pretty sure that I should be able to get this thing in here. I may have to cut this down a little bit. But the first thing I need to do before I do that is see if there's any holes in here that I can match up. So untie this, and this is even some fake paracord. So what I want to do with this is I'm going to cut this in half. So I want this one to be the axe and this one to be the knife. So this is the knife, this is the axe, and I'm going to have to do some cutting. So I hope to finish this today. Okay, I'm back. This cordage will be used for training purposes. You could tell by just feeling it that it maybe has one big thick strand in it. That's what, unfortunately, Walmart will sell that as a 550 cord, and it's not truly a 550. But I got two holes in here. They're probably a 1/4 20. And I have a bucket. I got this little thing it's got 4 of these in it, and it allows me to organize my bolts a little bit. So that's a little bit more or less than 1/4 20. These bottom ones are 1/4 20. This bottom one is. So I'll probably have to drill these holes out a little bit. But I can dump a few things on the floor here. I've got all these extra bolts, so, but I need it to go through all the way through here. Now I'm going to have to probably cut this down a little bit because I want the edge right here, and I'm missing some. So my Sharpie. All I'm going to do measure down. So this is a 35 inch. So half of 35 is 17 and a half. So this is where I'll cut it in half. So this is where that knife is going to be. The reason I'm cutting these down is because if you're trying to defend your home, this is very hard to swing. Okay, I typically leave this close to where I am. So if somebody trespasses, I go outside with this and they go away. I don't understand it. I don't even have to say anything. They just get back in the vehicle or they just get off the property. So I am, I am what I am. I'm paranoid. I have PTSD and I'm paranoid. I don't mean to scare anybody. I don't mean any harm, but I don't want to go out with a gun. So I go out with a scary weapon, especially if you could swing this around like under your arm. Can't do it right here, but I'm pretty good with it, and I do practice. So let me get this cut down and measured a little bit, so I can at least put this together. I wiped it all off on my hand. I do want to get this guy on one too. So I do have a spare one back here. Actually, I bought two for a reason. Let me get these all marked up and cut down so I can bolt them in. Well, after some finagling, getting this thing in here, this steel is pretty tough. So I was able to, see if I can get this sheath on. Yeah. A little off, but I don't think the perp's going to matter. He's going to complain. Now, there is one thing I want to do, since I got a little crack here when I was spreading this apart to get the blade in. I'm going to get some epoxy and epoxy this whole thing. Epoxy that thing in here, but you've got a awesome weapon. You come after somebody with this. The beauty thing about this is it's not as good as my hatchet, but I don't want to have to carry a shield, This isn't medieval times, but this, we'll take it outside and play with it a little later when it's warmer. But, I've got to affix this axe to this. I wanted the axe handle because I had this part of it. But cutting this is, American hickory is some tough wood. So precision cutting. I used a jigsaw for this to start it, and then I had to go get my reciprocating saw out of my other shed because I gave the one I had in here to my boy because it was his father's anyway. Anyway, I'm going to cut this thing short. God bless you. I'll finish this one up next week and we'll go into the other one. And now I have a sheath here that I'll probably just tape off, and the thing I can do is fling that and start getting people. Now I could probably clean this up. I do have to get some linseed oil for the corners, any open wood. So there is some work I need to do with this, but for if you do the math with everything this kit came with, it's a $5 knife with a $13 axe, bolts I already had. So you could do this for about 20 bucks. The things I'm going to add to this is probably going to take it about 25, less than 25. But that's pretty good for a weapon. That is more scary than anything. Um, Now it can be lethal, but I'm going for non-lethal. Like I said, I don't want to kill anybody. I just want to deter them from coming into the house. And I think if you brandish this, the reason I wanted it so small is so you want to be able to swing within a doorway. You might have a house with high ceilings, you know, no ceiling fans. I mean, one house I had, it was 10-foot ceiling, so I could swing a big stick. But this, if you have a couple of these around the house, at least you can get to your safe room, which my safe room is upstairs. That's when the big armament comes out, and no one gets past the stairs, basically. So God bless you. Take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.